There are two kinds of picture description questions on the Duolingo English test. The first one is write about the photo, and it looks like this. There are three write about the photo questions on the test, and your responses count toward your literacy, production, and writing subscores. You will have 60 seconds to write about the photo that you are given. And the main tip here is that you need to be sure to write at least 2 sentences. I see many students who write just one, and if you do that, it's going to be very difficult to get a good score for your response. However, in future lessons, I'm going to teach you strategies, tips, and tricks that will make it easier to write more in your responses. Speak about the photo looks like this. Very similar to write about the photo, except you have to speak out loud your response. There is only one speak about the photo question on the test, and it counts toward your conversation, production, and speaking subscores. For speak about the photo, you will be given an additional 20 seconds to study the image before you have to speak your response. Then you will have to describe the image out loud for 90 seconds. The main tip here is to speak for all 90 seconds. This will allow you to describe the image in great detail using a bunch of vocabulary, which is going to help you to get a higher score. I know that this can be challenging, which is why we have so many lessons on picture description in this course. So be sure that you study all of that vocabulary that you're going to learn and then practice with it so that you can use it naturally and accurately in your responses on the test. The other thing to note here is that you can only record yourself one time. You do not get to try again and redo your response. This is true for all speaking questions on the test. So if you make a mistake while you're speaking, don't panic, just keep moving forward. You can still get a very high score even if you make some mistakes in your responses. Here are some other important things to know. Picture description questions are not adaptive. So many questions on the test will be chosen according to your level. So basically, if you get some questions correct, then the next questions you see will be more difficult. However, for picture description, that is not the case. The images that you see will be chosen at random. And there are 2 types of images to think about as you are preparing for the test. There are images with people, and there are images without people. And in my experience, helping students prepare for the test, as well as my personal opinion, I think that pictures without people are more challenging for most students. This is because we naturally have a lot of vocabulary when describing people. So we can describe what they look like, what they're wearing, what age they are, what they're doing, their emotions. However, we have less vocabulary for objects, for things like architecture and building styles, which is what you'll need when you are given an image without people on the test. So as you're preparing for the test, I'd recommend that you make sure you spend time learning vocabulary and practicing describing images without people so that you can have full detailed responses that will get you a high score on the test. So in Arno, you can filter the questions by with people and without people. We added that for exactly this reason. All right, so that was just a quick overview of the 2 picture description question types that you'll see on the test. Like I said, in the following lessons, we're really going to go in detail on the strategies, tips, tricks, and vocabulary that you need to get a great score on these types of questions.